University is charged with that responsibility under a defined vision. We will come to that vision shortly. So, what does the industry require? Very many of us already have an idea. In fact, listening to the Governing Council chairman and listening to the acting vice chancellor, they've already identified where the gaps are and the potential results that all of us can benefit from. In terms of flying, we still need pilots. Don't mind what you hear that, we have excess pilot. No. In fact, the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority did mention that the airlines need. It's a different thing to say the pilots need us to be. We eventually get the us when we set up flying schools for so that these young pilots can build up their hours before they migrate into commercial air transport services. We need aircraft maintenance engineer. We need flight dispatchers. By the way, flight dispatcher. We need air traffic controllers because all the ANSPs, aviation navigation service providers today, are embracing new technology. We're terrestrial radiation to satellite. And the aircraft that are being designed today are made with certain compatibility design to use terrestrial navigation systems. From the terrestrial to satellite. So we need students who will learn and take over the management and administration of this. Of course, you need professional airport managers. And this is very true. Again, I'd like to share my own experience. I didn't become a professional airport manager, IAP, until when I joined the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. I asked myself, what am I taking away from this federal government assignment? And it became obvious to me that, look, I need to get certificated. So I pursued that 36 months program. I traveled to go read and write exams. And eventually I qualified as an international airport professional from my KOECI program. And it's very unique. Why was this unique? Immediately I got qualified, 2 countries actually called me to come and become the MD of their own airports. I remember Mauritius actually called me, and Cape Verde, they call them Cape Verde. They actually called and said, look, we saw you embrace this. Interestingly, even the Soviet Airbus for Africa aviation. So, why are we talking about Africa through this single achieve? The reason is that now. But just know that it's not just an important continent, but such a large continent. From Cape Town at the down end southern part of Africa to the northern part, from Dakar in the to Mombasa in the eastern part or east horn of Africa. It's a vast geographic entity. So one thing we're sure is that the roads cannot indeed take us to where we want to get to in Africa. And of course, the rail systems is very limited. Therefore, we can only conclude when you look at the multimodal transportation systems that the third leg of the multimodal transport system, which is the air transport, perhaps become the catalyst for the revolution we're talking about, the African transport revolution. And the only way the air transport component of the multimodal transport system can be for Africa. African Aerospace University churning out students with deep knowledge of trade, and of course, we have to be able to bridge economic activities together. So the future of Africa, as seen from the African Continental Free Trade Area program, clearly shows that you need air transport education, which is why you are here today. So I make bold to say that without aviation, the continent of Africa cannot be integrated, and in fact will not be integrated. It will rather become a dream, but every dream has reality. But the reality is that with aviation, it certainly will become a reality. Now, many people think that aviation is simply about aeroplane. Please, not so. It's not until you become a pilot or until you see an aircraft that you are in aviation. It is much more than that. Aviation is development, and let's take that away. Economic development, regional development, and of course, think about it. Aviation is connectivity from point A to point B. And this has been established, as you will see in the case of aviation is economics. In fact, when I presented a paper sometimes ago in Africa, the cost of that paper was air transport economics. Once you fail the economics of the air transport business, you will run down. So for those of us in aviation business studies, take it very seriously because you're getting from how you can ultimately become a better aviation engineer. Aviation is national integration, and that's why you're able to have the regions integrate to each other. Eastern region, Western region, Northern region, Central region, and we can integrate them from point A to B by flying within 50, an hour, 20 minutes, Lagos, Sokoto, an hour, 20 minutes. That is the power of aviation. And aviation is a global competitiveness. In terms of competition, you can see what is happening across the globe. Clearly, we'll cite more examples. So let me say this. When you see an airplane takes off from Abuja and it's going to the capital city of Nairobi, Johannesburg, Cairo, Dubai, New York, that airplane is carrying more than the passengers you know or that you see boarding that airplane. That airplane is carrying trade. That airplane is carrying investment. That airplane is carrying knowledge. That airplane is carrying ideas. Opportunity. And we must embrace that. Having established this, then what is the role of aviation? Talking to the rest of us who are learning aviation today. And let me say this, you can never stop learning, especially when you're in aviation, because there is always a continuous improvements program, whether in maintenance or in administration or in management. You have one thing or the other that you must continue. In fact, our manuals are continuously being updated and being reviewed. So when those bulletins and directives come up in the case of the airworthiness group, you know that you cannot compromise them. The same thing with the standard operating procedures that guides the flight operations and the administration of the airline, you cannot compromise them. Therefore, safety enhancement is the key. The important purpose is for safety enhancement, operational efficiency, innovation, real form, which you can see. Those on the high table will see these pictures. This reflects what aviation education can do to grow or transform air transport in Africa. Now, let's come back home. So, where is the continuously, mention AAAU? But the truth is this: from the theme of this responsibility and the opportunities before the institution itself, that's the university, and you, the students who are matriculating today. Once you know that, it will help you. So the mission is clear. We know the mission is been emphasized over and over again by the chairman of the council and, of course, members, the acting vice chancellor. I won't repeat that again. But if we understand the mission of this university and we appreciate the vision, then let's relate it to what it can help us to become. So the university itself, as mentioned earlier on, is established to become a premier aviation university. And so you have no choice but to integrate yourself into the vision of the university. It's established to become a center for aerospace studies. As a research institution, you're not just going to read textbooks and go. You're going to have to look for the gap in the textbooks, in the literatures, and develop your own knowledge that can close that gap. It's established to become a human capital development center that will chunk out what the rest of the world, the rest of Africa, and Nigeria in particular need. And all of this is incongruent with the ICAO Human Resource Development Goal, the African Union Agenda 2063, and of course the Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations and the Single African Air Transport Market Goal. If that is the case, then what does this university represent in your mind that makes you embrace its studies? It represents a vision. Remember, we started by talking about the visionaries. The first man that went to the space, the Russian cosmonauts, and the next man that went to the space, the American astronauts. So vision becomes key. Your vision must be congruent with the university's vision. It represents hope. Hope that you are going to improve your economic well-being. Hope that you're going to create wealth to the society when you eventually leave this place. It represents national ambition. It represents belief that Nigeria and Africa can produce world-class aviation professionals. It represents confidence in the capacity of African youth. It represents investment in your future. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing. Every great nation built institution that shapes generation. This university is one institution that is shaping and will ultimately shape the generation of aviation professionals in the next coming decades. So, the institution can only become great, not by chance, but when the student choose excellence, just like the acting vice chancellor mentioned, when the student pursued faculty knowledge, and when they embrace the vision of the university. Interestingly, we're migrating into the fourth revolution now, where we're leaving behind what we're used to doing that we know in the last 60, 70 years of this decade. The world is moving into AI, artificial intelligence, big data analysis, robotic analysis, automation, autonomous aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicle. By the way, the gentleman that came here representing Nigerian aviation is a strong promoter of unmanned aerial vehicle. He had promoted unmanned aerial vehicle and secured the Civil Aviation Authority to certify a group of individuals now to enable them use drone environment. Mr. Fortune, I'd like to appreciate you from this presentation. Airports are becoming very digital. Satellite navigation systems are what the world is embracing. That's what I mentioned in the case of ANSP. We're still terrestrial in this part of the world, but gradually, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency is migrating from terrestrial to satellites navigation system. And that's where the rest of the world are. Because even the modern aircraft that are built now have compatibility, the satellite navigation systems, cybersecurity, and sustainable aviation fuel. In fact, that's one area that we must pay attention to. The world is migrating from fossil fuel to sustainable aviation fuel. And ultimately, that is where it will be. So the aerospace revolution must not catch us unaware, because we know that with aerospace, technology is central. And today, our navigation systems, our telecommunication systems, our agriculture, our climate monitoring, our security, disaster management, environmental sustainability, all depend on the aerospace revolution that is going on. And interestingly, the African Aviation and Aerospace University offers that opportunity for every one of us, and especially the matriculating student. The unmanned aviation fundamentals, the cybersecurity risk program, the aerospace research program, the drone specialist program, and the digital aviation technologies are programs that we can at this point in time. So what's the future of aviation aerospace education? Every time you use GPS, aerospace is involved. Every time weather forecast is made for farmers to determine their planting season, aerospace is involved. Every time satellites enables communication across continents, aerospace is involved. Ladies and gentlemen, every time disaster management agencies monitor flood or drought, aerospace is involved. So space technology is key. So it's not by chance that this university is named University of aviation and aerospace, but it's deliberate, intentional, so that ultimately they can contribute to the abounding knowledge in aviation. And this is the geographic expression of Nigeria today, and see the role aviation is playing. Across this whole map, you see all the airports with the signage of aircraft representing the airports. This is exactly what is happening in Nigeria today. With about 220.7 million population, Nigeria today is contributing about 2.5 billion to the domestic product, the gross domestic product. And we have a population, we have a workforce of 217,000 plus, thereabouts, all fully engaged in aviation. So it tells you the importance of aviation. And this is what all of them are doing as expressed in this picture. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly the matriculating undergraduate and postgraduate students, I'm going to establish 7 principles on which you must ride as you progress in your studies. You've heard part of it. Perhaps the rest will also ignite your intention to be deliberate in your studies. Pursue excellence. There is no room for average performance. In aviation, I hope you know our pass mark is not 40 over 100. No, it's not 40. I teach some students in the postgraduate schools of Masters in Transport and Planning, University of Lagos. And when they get 40, everybody's excited. And I tell them, this is not an aviation program. If it was an aviation program, only 70% and above will pass this program. And that's what AAU ultimately will evolve into. We're not going to take 40, 50, 55%. No. Also, value integrity. The rector, the Vice Chancellor mentioned that earlier on. Value integrity because it saves lives. Respect safety because it saves life. Embrace innovation because that's the only way you can progress. Learn beyond the classroom. Read journals, professional journals, academic journals. It will contribute to your knowledge. Develop leadership capacity. And of course, think beyond yourself. Imagine your contribution to the nation in the nearest future. You're not just pursuing a degree, as you know you are in the university to get a degree, but beyond the degree, you want to become a future leader in aviation and aerospace standards. So, what is my call to all the matriculating students today in this lecture? The future of African aviation may very well sit in this auditorium today. If not all, some. Why do we say this? To all of you who are matriculating today, I want to encourage you to dream boldly, study diligently, and lead responsibly, especially if you are challenged to lead the rest of your colleague. Gone are those days when people say the sky is the limit. The sky is no longer the limit. Oh. People have gone beyond the skies. Now, space scientists have gone beyond the sky, so we clearly know that the sky is no longer the limit. The future belongs to those who prepare for the challenge of today. And in fact, the future of African aviation will not be determined just by the airports you see, by the airlines you see, or by government, but it will be determined by what happens in the classroom, how serious you take your studies, what happens in the laboratory, the experiments you are carrying out, the analysis that you are making, the research work you are carrying. Don't just depend on your secondary, tools. Do a primary research so you can have a feel of true results. It will also depend on the innovation hub of these universities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my recommendations for the matriculating students today, both undergraduate and postgraduate, are as follows. And of course, these recommendations, or my advice, also goes to the Governing Council, the Vice Chancellor and his team. And I say, strengthen the industry academic partnership. That is why universities like this are professional institutions. Strengthen the relationship between the industry and academic partnership. Develop aviation innovation laboratories if you don't have one. Begin to look towards that. Enhance international collaborations. So do exchange programs, so to say. Invest in simulation technologies so people can imagine a real lifetime scenario ultimately when they are faced with the challenges. Develop aviation incubation centers, expand research fundings, promote aerospace research programs, encourage initiative and entrepreneurship once you've identified one among the students. Support faculty development. Let the lecturers be exposed further beyond what they already acquired, and promote gender inclusion. In conclusion, and my call to action, before I leave this stage, I'd like to say once again, the sky is no longer the limit. We are already in the age of modern aviation and aerospace technology. Even in this age, the space is no longer limiting anyone. About 2 months ago, remember those who flew out of the earth and circled the moon, went beyond the moon, the American scientists. It was not by chance. It was born out of series of education. So the true limit is the extent of our imagination, our preparation, and our determination to succeed. Therefore, I'd like to say to all the matriculating students, undergraduate and postgraduate, dream boldly, study diligently, innovate fearlessly, lead responsibly, serve humanity, and transform Africa. That is the vision of African Aviation University. And when the transformation of Africa is being discussed in the future, the story of the contribution of African Aviation and Aerospace University will be mentioned. May your journey be successful. May your impact be significant. And may your future be extraordinary in aviation and aerospace development. God bless African Aviation and Aerospace University. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Africa. Now, PAMSEC, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard. Please, another round of applause for the guest speaker. Very impactful lectures. If you have not picked anything from his lecture, you should have picked that the sky is no longer the limit. So those of us that keep saying the sky is the limit, you can now change the saying as aviation professionals. So thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for articulating this lecture very crisply. Please, all the matriculating students that are outside should try as much as possible to come back inside. The program is not over. Once the program is over, you have significant time to snap with your parents and guardians, as the case may be. So we continue with our program. I will quickly call on the Honorable Chairman, House Committee on Aviation, ably represented by Honorable Festus Akingbaso, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Aviation, to come and give his will message. Yeah, he's away. So I will call on the I will call on the DG NIMET, ably represented by Prof. Vincent Welly, just to come and give a goodwill message to the matriculating students. You are welcome. Professor Vincent Welly is the Director, Research and Forecast. What is it? Weather Forecast Services. Sorry, sir.
Good afternoon all. This is a goodwill message by the Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Professor Charles Anosike, whom I represent My name is Professor Vincent Welly. I'm the Director, Weather Forecasting Services. The Vice Chancellor, the Permanent Secretary representing the Minister, the Principal Officers, and all other invited guests, please permit me to existing protocol. On behalf of the management and staff, agency, I extend my warmest congratulations to the matriculating students of the African Aviation and Aerospace University on this significant in your academic journey. Today marks the beginning of an exciting chapter in your lives. By choosing to study at AAAU, you have joined an institution dedicated to developing the next generation of professionals and leaders who will shape the future of aviation, aerospace, and related disciplines in Africa and beyond. As Nigeria's provider of meteorological services, NIMET recognizes the indispensable role that education, research, innovation, and technology play in advancing aviation safety, efficiency, and sustainable development. Weather and climate services remain fundamental to safe flight operations, air navigation, disaster risk reduction, agriculture, and national development. We therefore value the university's commitment to producing graduates equipped with the knowledge and skills required to meet the demands of an evolving global aviation industry. To our students, curiosity and innovation, make the most of the opportunities available to you. Cultivate meaningful relationships with your lecturers and peers and remain committed to lifelong learning. The knowledge and values you acquire here will not only define your careers, but also position you to contribute meaningfully to the development of Nigeria, Africa, and the global community. I commend the Governing Council, management, academic and non-academic staff of AAAU for their dedication to building a world-class institution that continues to inspire excellence in aviation and aerospace education. NIMET remains committed to strengthening collaboration with AAAU in areas of meteorological education, research, capacity development, and operational support as we collectively work towards a safer, more resilient, and technologically advanced aviation sector. Once again, congratulations to all. I wish you a rewarding, successful, and fulfilling academic excellence. Thank you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Professor Vincent Welly, ably representing the Director General of NIMET. The last goodwill message will be taken before the address of the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development is from the Hakimi of Ido, Saidu Sariki. You are most welcome, sir. You can come and give the students a goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for him as he makes his way to the front. He's the traditional head of our community here, Ido. Please keep clapping, keep clapping. Keep clapping. You are welcome, sir. Kabir and Kalisa. Sensor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, all. I'm Alhaji Saidu Sarki Ido, Hakimi Ido Sarki, represent Emir Abuja, Alhaji Idris Musa. So, the VC the permanent secretary, the pro-chancellors, the team players, the students, parents, you are all going well. I'm here to thank the parents that help their children to become something. You had, I could remember last 2016, you all had what VC said. I took my son to Ibadan University. In reaching the school, they asked my son, who chose the course for you? The boy was to read pharmacy. That is what he chose. When we reached, they asked him, he said he's here to read pharmacy, and he chose the course by himself. The school authorities say yes. If you are here to read and you choose by yourself, there's a lot of people that will take you up to read. If you are not here to read, there's a lot of people that will help you to bring you down to do your lesson. So in view of this, students, be serious, and read so that you can become a future tomorrow. Thank you very much. I wish everybody to go back to his destination. And let me use this opportunity to thank the permanent secretary to make the school progress. And we are about to see you, but the VC was not around because he's always been on London, here, and to make sure that school is progress. What I'm saying is that in respect of compensation, we suffer a lot. And the VC and the Director of Fiscal Planning, all they suffer a lot. No acquisition that they did not receive by the community. But to my greatest surprise, VC asked us to come, when we come, he told me that the permanent secretary visited the school and they told him the story, what the challenge they are facing. But within short period, the permanent secretary direct all the agencies to contribute and pay the compensation to the community. So we thank you for that. Again, to pay the community compensation is good, but the community are still requested to be part of the school by employment. In fact, the visa has done, he trying, but it's not yet enough for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the university borders. So it's always, the Vice Chancellor has always pushed for interrelationship between the university and the communities. So thank you very much for coming for this matriculation. We are going to take two more goodwill messages. One from the Director, NCAA. If he's here, he can come and take his goodwill message. Director, NCAA. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for the Director of NCAA. Ably represented by Ahmad Abba MNI. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, ably represented by my brother, Mahmoud Kambari, the Chairman, the Acting Vice Chancellor. Please permit me to stand on the already established. I am Ahmad Abba, MNI, Director, Aerodrome and Airspace Standard, ably representing the Director General. Would love to be here due to the exigencies of this office. He is available to present these remarks personally. So he directed that I present these remarks on his behalf. It gives me immense pleasure to join you today at the third matriculation ceremony of the African University and Aerospace University Abuja. This occasion marks another significant milestone in the growth of this unique institution and in Nigeria's journey towards becoming a leading center of excellence and center of excellence in aviation and aerospace education on the African continent. First and foremost, I congratulate the management, staff, and governing council of the university for their unwavering commitment to the class institution, producing highly skilled professionals for the aviation and aerospace sector. Your dedication continues to inspire transformative journey. You are privileged to be part of a pioneering institution established the next generation of aviation leaders, engineers, meteorologists, air traffic controllers, safety professionals, aerospace experts, researchers, and innovators. The opportunities before you are innovation and unwavering and uncompromising commitment to safety. Your years at AAAU should not only equip you with academic knowledge, but also prepare you to become ethical leaders capable of driving sustainable growth within Nigeria, Africa, and the global aviation community. I also commend the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, SAN, CON, for their steadfast commitment to strengthening aviation education and developing the skilled workforce required to achieve the renewed hope agenda for the aviation sector. Dear students, remember that your admission into this institution is not merely an achievement, it is a call to excellence. Make the most of every lecture, every practical session, every and every interaction with lecturers and colleagues. The future of aviation may very well depend on the innovations and solutions that emerge from this university. A rewarding academic experience and a very success as you embark on this important chapter of your lives. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, the DG NCAA, the DG NCAA. Please will take goodwill messages from one parent here, just to also appreciate. So if we call for a parent, any parent can just come out and give a goodwill message on behalf of these students gathered here. So the DG NSIB, ably represented by Engineer Abdullahi Babania, will be taking the goodwill message for the DG of NSIB. You are welcome, sir. Please put your hands together for him.
The Acting Vice Chancellor, African Aviation University, the visitor ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Chairman of the Board of Governors of African Aviation, distinguished guest, guest speaker, parents, to say one or two words. Proud, and also represent Nigeria in your endeavors. Permit me to recognize my made by the guest speaker. He mentioned that Africa contributes just 4% of aviation activity globally. And on the side, Africa contributes the highest accident rates in aviation. In 2024, we recorded over 12.1% of the global accident rate. However, 2025 is a very good news for us. We recorded 7.8% and also beat the target. The target was 9%, and we beat the target to 7.8%, which is very good for us. So I hope to safety as we train. It is very, very important because the passengers that buy ticket, they are buying assurance that they will arrive their destinations safely with their own luggage. So they take it for granted, but you should not take it for granted. Please do whatever you can to ensure that whatever you are doing, safety is at the core of your activities. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you very much, Engineer, for that very brief goodwill message. So we'll be taking a parent, Dr. Samira Abubakar Abdullahi. She is the parent of Sadiq Kabir Mohammed, and she will be giving goodwill message on behalf of the students. Please, a round of applause for her as she comes to the front. You are welcome, Doctor.
Thank you. I think I'm giving on behalf of the parents. Is it on behalf of the parents or the students? Because I'm not a student. All right. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon already? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, our leaders, our teachers, our guides, and good afternoon, students. My name is Dr. Samira Abubakar Abdullahi, and I'm the parent of Sadiq Kabir Mohammed. This is his first year, and I want to thank the leadership. In fact, I want to start on the existing protocol. I want to thank the leadership because they have brought something that is very new society. Before now, we will have to travel outside the country to get anything that has to do with aviation. But with the and I'm very sure by the push from the authority of this school, they see it important that our students or our children don't have to travel outside the country. They could equally get enough and enough education and having the opportunity to be part of the aviation space. So on behalf of the parents, we are saying thank you very much. May God bless you. May God strengthen your knowledge so that you can share more. And we appreciate whatever you are doing to our children. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samira Abubakar Abdullahi, the director PTP has just 2 minutes to tell us what his program is about in this university. Dr. Aliu Tata, you can come and take the mic very quickly. PTP stands for Professional Training. He will just tell you what the directorate does and how we can.
Good afternoon. Based on the existing protocols, I would like to share the training opportunities that we have for the industry. In addition to the academic programs, this university has been mandated to provide professional continuing education, providing knowledge and skills for the aviation professionals working in the industry. Salah has said that we train over 500 skilled workers in the industry last year in 2025. This year, we are prepared to train more than that numbers. And in addition to this, we are beyond Africa, we are beyond Nigeria today. Currently, we are in discussion with 5 African countries that are interested to train under our training platform, under our professional training platform. This came our visit to Togo when African Air Transport Conference last 2 weeks. When they saw our stand, they were excited to come and have training under African and Aerospace University. Therefore, on this note, I'm happy to say that we have the capacity. We have the capacity to organize a tailor-made programs, a customized programs that will make impact directly on the problems, challenges your organizations are facing in the industry, even at a personal capacity. When you approach us through our website, through our personal contact, we can do so based on the existing capacity we have. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and I wish you well going back to.
So the next is the address presented by the Permanent Secretary Mahmoud Adam Kambari, FCNA, FICA, FIMC,
Sorry, please sit down. Please sit down. Your own is greater than my own. My boss, the former head of civil service of the Federation, and I stand to be corrected, the person that became head of the Federal Civil Service at the that became the head of the civil service of the Federation at the youngest age. If I stand to be corrected, because he is the youngest ever head of the Federal Civil Service of the Federation, my brother, the Pro-Chancellor of this, and Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Governing Council of this very important institution, Alaji Bukar Goniaji. Sir, the members of the governing board, my brother, and I have a lot of names for him, but I got another very good name today, Mr. Capacity, the Vice Chancellor. For those people that may not know, I'm sure there are very few here. Dr. Mustafa Sheikh Abdullahi, I think he is a son of a professor, and as well a grandson of a professor, because that Sheikh you are hearing is also a professor. So I think this village, go getter, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mustafa, the members of the governing board, the directors. I'm very happy that almost all professional directors of the aviation, they are here. That shows also to see to the progress of this institution. You are duly recognized. Management, I have to specially recognize the registrar of this institution. When I came visiting, I think it's a literature that should be told for a long time. Sir, I like to be a registered institution. Somebody like you. Thank you very much for assisting us. The management of the university, and our erudite professors. I'll come back to it because there are a lot here, lot of professors as you are seeing them in their various academic gowns. I'll come back to you and ask for one forgiveness before I progress. Our erudites and our also very young CEOs that we ever had at the farm, because this guy, I met him in Lagos, as he said. He was sitting close to me, very humble. So as we are talking, I was thinking he's one of my boys. I don't know that he has been in that powers earlier than me. Somebody just came and says, Dr. Richard, you are sitting down with Dr. Richard. I say, I say, okay. Then he said, the former MD of PAN. I say, PAN? I started looking at him again. I said, you manage all this government of problem we are going through now. So you have already used it and already done. I listened to his lecture. It's something that you should get as a student to go through it again, not only hearing it here. There's a lot of input and a lot of encouragement for you people to go through his lecture. Please get the copy of the lectures and go through it, and please inculcate whatever. Dr. Richard, thank you very much. You see, I have to recognize Sarki. Apologize. Not only apologize, since he came here, he sat down quietly. Everybody shouting, everybody doing whatever he's doing. You know that, he has the last straw that can throw all of us into crisis here, because the land that we are sitting is his land. Yes, NSIB give us buildings and the rest, but the owner of this traditional owner of where we are is Sarki Saidu. Sarki, we are very, very grateful for yourself and your community for giving us the peace of having this institution here. And Sarki, as you said, apart from in future having your children and your community members here being pilots, by the grace of God, we will make sure, as we have already told you, most of the artisans works, drivers and others, as already the BC is trying to make sure that it has been adhered to. We will make sure that the artisans workers, and most of them will come from this community. We are sure of this. And thank you very much once again, Sarki Saidu. We are very grateful for your presence here. It's a the representative of our various one glad in my hands, especially my mind, especially when I saw my brothers like Alajaba here and the other representative of almost all our agencies in the ministry. That shows that's the type of things we want to be seen as a ministry. That's interaction, that comradeship. Because without that, the university, because the university is producing candidates for you people. So please, that comradeship should continue, and please extend our gratitude to your CEOs for sending you here to represent them. We are very grateful for your coming here. Thank you very much. At this juncture, the reason why student matriculant, most especially as I was sitting there, the Pro-Chancellor and the BC told me that, look, we even have an international student here. I think he's the pioneer, if I'm correct, for this institution from Tanzania. If he is here, please, Mr. From Tanzania, I think I wrote the name Joel, go? Noel Kumba. Noel Kumba. Mr. Noel Kumba. Thank you very much. That's what we, as Africa, this is what we are looking for. You are a pioneer here, and we are very proud. That shows the confidence African brothers have in the institution. And you are to be a pioneer in this. We really appreciate you and your country for having confidence. And by the grace of God, we will not fail you, and we will not fail our other African brothers. This is a litmus test for everybody, and it's an opener. And we are calling for our other brothers to emulate Tanzania. We are very grateful for your country. Thank you very much, Mr. Kumba. As I said, members of the press, because I know they are here, distinguished our parents, very important, especially our sister doctor who came and represent our parents here. Our parents, without these students may not find their way here. We are very grateful to you, and we ask for your continued cooperation for the successful completion of this very important task they are going to undertake as students of this institution. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you must have heard, I am not the minister. I am here representing the minister, who is also representing the visitor to this university. My boss, Dr. Festus Kiamu, CON-SAN. Why I say I will come back to professors is this speech I'm going to read is from the Honorable Minister. If you hear Minister is speaking to you, or they are all from Minister. Any error of omission, commission, or as the accountants say, of double entry, the culprit is here. And one of the error I have to correct immediately is I can see a soldier here. The commandant is also recognized. So the minister goes as follows. It is my pleasure, my singular honor and privilege to warmly welcome our distinguished guests, members of the council, principal officers, staff, parents, guardians, and most especially our newly admitted students who are worthy to identify with the African Aviation and Aerospace University, AAAU, a specialized institution uniquely positioned under the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development. It is indeed a child of the ministry and was deliberately established to serve as Africa's foremost economic growth. Our ministry has identified 5 strategic priorities that continue to guide our reforms.